I'm Laurina Anderson. I'm known as the energy shifter because I teach people how to shift their energy, how to access and accelerate their internal energy fields, how to release and dissolve negative energy that's stuck in the body mind, and how to expand their positive empowerment energy. So it starts going out into the energy grid because we're magnets, right? So as we're magnets, we're always, we got this circuitry that's always going. So our actions, our beliefs, our intentions are always creating outside of our internal bodies. That goes out into the energy grid, and then we create and attract, and we bring back to us what we want to have happen, So it is amazing. I love it.
And then how did you get to this point where you are today?
Well, I do have my master's in social work. So I was a therapist in the addictions field and realized that that was really great foundation. However, I wanted to work more with people that wanted more. Usually when you're dealing with somebody in an addiction, you're talking to the disease. You're not really speaking to the individual themselves. Even though that individual wants more out of their life, you're always working with the disease. And what I realized is that the way that I worked was much better when I had the ability of really connecting with the authentic person on the inside, not with the disease. So that's what made the difference for me. And that's when I decided to become a life coach and started training with a woman by the name of Debbie Ford. And she had the Integrative Institute. And I was with her for 7 years, facilitating workshops, being able to mentor various students that were coming into the program, did one-on-one training all the time, coaching.
So Debbie Ford was like your mentor. How you got into
she was the first one, yes. And that was many moons ago. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. A therapist, moved into the coaching practice, and that coaching practice was really good because it talked about the shadows, which means those negative beliefs that we carry with us. So her whole process was making friends with that shadow, because that shadow really was a motivator for us to do even better, to push forward, so that so-called negative belief didn't stop us anymore, that we could honor it. And then after that, that was really, really good, again, foundation. However, I realized I never felt different. After going through so much training and every modality that I could think of, I never really felt any different. I mean, one of my so-called shadows was Stupid Sally, and even after going back to, college at a much later date, I think I was 38 when I went back, and then went all the way through, got advanced standing in my master's program, I never felt any different. I was never able to really give myself any accolades or acknowledgement. I can't even.
After you became accomplished and you got your master's, you didn't feel like you did anything.
No, I could not really feel that I had done all these accomplishments. And honestly, that's pretty typical with most people that I work with. They don't know how to honor, acknowledge, or give themselves credit for what they have done. So they're always striving, to the next thing, to the next thing. What else can I do? And even though they're doing that, they're not feeling any different. And they keep thinking, well, let's see, maybe if I have a new house, then I'll feel better. And yeah, or maybe if I have a new car, the bright red Mozzie, right? And they still don't feel any better. They're all excited and everything. They're in the car. They're driving it around. It's nothing but an ego trip.
So did you work with the life coach as well? Or you, in the process of becoming a life coach, kind of pick things up?
No, you had to have your own life coach as well.
Okay.
And there was a whole, it was a year-long process, and you were with them, doing training and on telecalls every Tuesday. So that was a year long. And then you had to go to San Diego and do what was called the shadow workshops. So, and you'd have to do that like 2 or 3 times a year. So it was really intense, and then, helping with the workshops, mentoring other students as well. But you always had to have your own life coach as well.
Got it. So talk to me a little bit about your life before you started life coaching. Or a better question is, like, what made you realize that that's something that you wanted to pursue?
Very, very, very young. I used to be the peacemaker in my home. And that's when I realized that I had a gift. And it would be pretty intense in the household, fighting, arguing, mother and father. No, mother and father. I have a younger brother that's 6'2".
Little brother, right?
Yeah, little brother. But the fighting in the house was really at an all-time high. It was very, very intense. And of course, I would step into the middle of it and try to make peace. So that's when I realized that I might have some gift.
Right, with people.
Yes.
At a young age.
And how to de-escalate situations. So
this was you when you were younger, but then, it sounds like you went to college later in life. Did you go when you were young as well, or did you skip it all entirely when you were young?
No, I as a matter of fact, to be honest, I'm a high school dropout.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I ended up almost getting caught in I'll say a ring, and realized that there was something really awful that was happening. So ended up calling my boyfriend, and he kind of saved me, got me out of that.
So you're hanging out with the wrong crowd.
No, I was looking for a job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be at that time it was an airline stewardess, not a flight attendant, an airline stewardess. And I had a girlfriend of mine set me up with an interview, and realized, oh, this is a little extra something on the side, otherwise known as a prostitute ring.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
At an airline.
It didn't matter. Yeah, it didn't matter. There were just, girls from whatever airline that were servicing, shall we say.
So you got out of that.
I got out of there, and then I got married. Woohoo! I came from the south side of Chicago, and that was one of the things that you ended up doing at a young age. Got married, got married at 18.
Oh, you were young.
My first baby at 19, my second one at 21.
Wasted no time. You got right to it.
Yes, and divorced at 26.
Oh, that was the first go around.
Yes.
So then what else did you do? What other professions did you
oh,
do
my goodness.
after you got married and had 2 kids?
I became a receptionist. Then I had graduated from almost graduated from a secretarial school. So I had shorthand, typing, file organization, whatever secretaries do. And as I said, that was a long time ago, because I don't think any executives really have secretaries anymore that, sit down and do shorthand or take notes or do their letters or whatever. So that was part of it. And then, as I said, then I went singing telegrammer. So I went around to different parties and weddings and sang my little happy birthday. Then after that, I was a gaslight girl, and that was singing and dancing as well in a private key club. And then after that, started selling fine printing paper. I know.
So you've done a little bit of everything. It sounds like you've been through a lot.
I got everything. Because then from paper, I went into printing, and from printing, I went back to school. I got married, went back to school.
Remarried.
Second time.
Second time.
Remarried.
Went back to school, got your master's, and now.
Oh, I had to start from the beginning. I had to do my bachelor's first.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to accomplish that in 3 years, and then got into advanced standing in my master's program. So 1 year in and out.
Wow.
So
now we're here.
Now we're here.
So based on everything that you went through and all the different now with life coaching?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit further back
Okay.
because I'm also an incest survivor. And having that experience has allowed me today in understanding what goes on in the psyche, what goes on mentally, emotionally, physically. And I've been able to help people heal from that, whether they're male or female. It doesn't matter. I was abused growing up. That has helped me understand as well that there's more to life. I mean, you can either stay a victim or you can start stepping out of it and start empowering yourself. And that's really what my whole progression of education and knowledge was, because I continued to carry this victimhood with me. So every single moment I was always trying to find a better way and believe myself to be something special. As I realized, yeah, you're not that special, honey. You got a gift. It's wonderful, but you're just human like anybody else. And that's what makes me really relatable with people. I have gone through so much, experienced so much. I mean, yeah, I was even a personal trainer.
Yeah, you're talking about that.
So I've hit many different arenas of education, I'll say.
So it's something that you've gone through yourself personally, in terms of the whole process of being, suffering in a way, to being a victim, to using that to your advantage.
Yes.
And what do you feel was your personal biggest obstacle in overcoming that?
I think that what you have to do is realize that you can play a victim, but you'll never get any place in life because you will not take responsibility for anything that's ever happened. And what I realize today, doing the work that I do, is that I take full ownership of all my creations, meaning that everything that I've ever experienced in life has brought me right here, right now. And it's pretty darn good sitting in here because I know that a healing has happened, and I know that I can heal others as well if they follow the tools and techniques that I teach. And it's been incredibly powerful. When I find somebody and we start working together, and then all of a sudden these aha moments happen for them where they finally realize that their belief systems or their thoughts have stopped them consistently from the successes that they really want. They're working so many hours and constant and still not feeling.
So do you feel like the obstacle that you went through is similar to your clients, or does everyone have a different obstacle they got to overcome?
What I have found is that there's probably about 3 or 4 areas that are deep set in an individual psyche. So I call them gremlins. There's things that live in the head. All right. One is ego. The other one is denial. The other one is fear. And then those little gremlins, those core issues that we come in with. And what I find is that a lot of them, almost all of them, are I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. I don't have what it takes. And then it filters out after that, where I don't have what it takes. My parents never taught me correctly. They didn't put me into the right kind of schools. They didn't have enough money. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And when we start going into some of those areas, and I'm like, really? You're not good enough. Let's see, you're the CEO of a Fortune 200 company. I'm sorry, what is it that you didn't do? So it's been, it's fabulous to watch them all of a sudden open up their eyes and to have them feel again. That is the bottom line for me, is that they have the ability of feeling again and then creating self-love and being able to feel that. So, and the reason why I say feeling again is that so many people live up in their heads. It's I think. But this thing, it doesn't have any feelings unless you got a headache. It's really good for your math, and balancing a checkbook maybe. But it doesn't have any feeling. Your internal energy field is what has feeling. And that body is always talking to you through the energy, through the feelings. So, say that you've got a paper that's due or a proposal that you need to get done. What happens inside the body? You're on a deadline. The body starts tightening up. The stress. One of the questions I ask is, what's keeping you up at night? and usually, poof, it's right there. So through the tools and techniques that I teach, nobody really knows how to be present in the moment.
So you find that being present is one of the biggest commonalities in a lot of your clients?
Being present is all that we have. And clients don't know how to be present in the moment, like right now, and then right now, just present. So there's a tool that I teach. It's through breathing. I teach breathing techniques. I teach them how to breathe, how to come back down into the body, how to feel again. I want them to feel everything. So if there's a fabulous, wonderful event that happened and they got a brand new client and it's, $4 million client, really, what does that feel like? And I've had people turn around and say, I don't know, I have to think about it. I said, you have thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Okay? You have feelings. Your internal energy field is speaking to you. What are you feeling in the body? Oh, well, it feels great. Super. Where do you feel in the body? I don't know. I've never thought about it. No, I don't want you to think. I want you to feel. Yes. So in identifying those feelings, I can get to what I call energy contractions, if it's a negative thought or stress or something, and we do a dissolve and release kind of technique, where all of a sudden, when you're putting your unconditional love into a particular area using your own energy, all of a sudden, that contraction starts dissolving and releasing out of the body mind. When that happens, they're like, oh. I tell them, I said, okay, now go back to that proposal that you need to have done. How do you feel about that now? More relaxed, more alert, more focused. Okay, I got it. I said, excellent, let's go, right? Because I've released the emotional charge that they have on that. So I work great with salespeople because, they're always looking for that next sale, looking for the next sale. So I work with them. I work with CEO of companies. I work with business owners. I work with bankers. I work with wealth managers. Any profession that has high stress, police, firemen, any profession that really has high stress, as part of their job, so that they start releasing the stress. And the more that you release the stress, the more present you are in this moment. So I explained to him, I said, listen, all your tomorrows are gone. Let's extract the wisdom from it. All right? And extracting the wisdom means, what did you learn new about yourself that you didn't know prior to that experience? And they go, well, I came up with a new idea, a new innovation on how to remedy this particular problem. I went, oh my God, are you kidding? Really? And I'm also the biggest cheerleader, because I love it. Their successes, I feel. And I get all excited. I'm cheering for them.
And what about the setbacks? I'm sure you feel those too a little bit, right? I'm sure during your process of coaching someone, there's always, you don't win every game like any coach.
I know you don't, but something. What I do is I go back and I ask them, okay, what was it that stopped you? Number one, what belief was running, and what was it that didn't allow you to follow through on what you said you were going to do? And we start going through that process. Yeah.
Something very that caught my ears. What belief was running?
Well, I can't, or it's too hard, or I don't have what it takes, or I'm damaged. There are these beliefs, the negative self-talk stops them every time. So I also work with positive self-talk. Okay. Oh no, I can't do that. And you know what's wild? You can feel I can't in the body.
Just by saying it, right?
Just by saying it. I mean, right now I can, my stomach starts tightening up. But then I switch it to, how about if you could? What might that look like? If you could do that, what would that look like? And then they start, well, I don't know. Well, let's pretend. So I just kind of gently guide them into that area. And then when they realize that they can, I said, oh, okay, now where do you feel that in the body? And
You feel it.
you can feel it, absolutely. The reason why you can feel it is that all of your beliefs have a vibrational quality to them. Okay? If you are believing something really negative, you're going to have a frequency that's very, very low, and it's not going to feel good. And stress, right? Now, if you believe that you can, you'll be able to feel that in the body as well. And that brings up your vibrational frequency. And boy, I got to tell you, it feels good. And everybody, there's only two feelings. Either you really want to feel more of this because it feels so good, or you sure as heck don't want to feel any more of this because it doesn't, right? So many times we find that we're on that pendulum back and forth and back and forth. What I like to do is I like to try to keep them up over here while they're managing the I can'ts. It's the I can'ts that will stop them in their tracks every single time. But when I show them and I take them back to experiences where they did show up, many times they didn't have a choice, right? So when they didn't have a choice and they had to show up, all of a sudden the I can was prevalent, and it was being used, and they got a whole new sense of the power that they really do possess within themselves. So it's amazing.
What would you recommend for someone, who has a high level of stress, job or career, and is on the fence about life coaching? They feel like they're doing good, but they personally know that they could take or they have potential to hit another level, but don't know where to go. Like, do they they don't know if they should read books, they should see a life coach, a therapist, get hypnotized. So what would you recommend someone that's on the fence about getting assistance, getting to that next level?
Well, what I would say is that I believe in therapy, okay? If you're dealing with disorders, if there's really something psychological that is happening mentally that you cannot process your everyday normal life, some people are severely depressed. Some have bipolar. Those are disorders, and those are perfect for therapists. When you're just dealing with life issues and you get stuck, your head keeps going around in circles, it's called spin thinking. That's the time where it's important to reach out to somebody. Now, yes, you can read the books, but where do I read a book? What kind of book do I read? Sometimes it's up in the air. That's where a life coach can help as well. And I just wanted to make this note that what makes me different, my niche, is that I teach about the energy fields. A lot of life coaches, they have a lot of life experience, and they've gotten their certificate from the International Coaching Federation. And I think a lot of their programs are, 3 months long or something. I've got my master's in social work, okay? I was an addictions therapist. I know that I'm dealing with people's lives. It matters to me. Their life matters deeply to me. This just is not a job. It is a personal passion that I want each and every person to be able to experience their joy, their happiness. and understanding the difference between them. Joy is an internal thing, an internal feeling. Happiness, you use people, places, and things to elicit that feeling, right? But the joy is inside, self-empowerment, right? I want people to understand how incredibly powerful they are. That whatever they want to do, they have options. They can do it. The only thing that stops them is this, that, and those little gremlins, their core issues. My coaching also has an element of spirituality involved in it. I work with the higher power and having an individual begin to understand and listen to their own higher power. Because a lot of times, if this thing is going like crazy, you don't have a chance to really touch into your intuition. You can't hear it because there's so much noise happening up here. But your intuition is that small inner voice. That small inner voice has never led you astray. It's never lied to you. It has never played games. Your intuition is that, as I said, the small inner voice. Sometimes I call it your God self, because it kind of talks to you, or the universe talking to you, whatever you call it.
Right.
But there is a bigger energy that is available, and it's called unconditional love. So that unconditional love, I call source energy. Yeah, I do too. So I have people that have never really experienced that higher power, let alone being able to hear their own intuition, because this thing is spinning, right? Another technique that I teach, along with meditation and breathing, is just how to be present in this moment. And the more present you are, the more you can hear your intuition.
It's almost like a power that we all have, but it's hard to learn how to tap into it.
Well, not only is it hard to learn, well, I might say if you believe it's hard to learn, it's hard to learn.
Yeah.
Okay? Because your beliefs are going to create for you. You're always going to see evidence for your beliefs. So my belief is that it's not really hard. You just have to practice it. And so there's a tool that I use on how to just feel. Like right now, taking a slow, deep breath into your body, feeling it expand, and then how you exhale. And as you're doing that, feeling the shoes on your feet. Feel the pants. I know you are. Feeling the pants on your body. Feeling your shirt. Becoming aware of the sounds. Right? The sound of the air conditioner, the sound of my voice. Yeah. Feel the pressure where you're sitting. The pressure on your back where you're leaning.
Yeah, you're going to hypnotize me. Chill out.
I'm saying, are you present? Absolutely. And that's really all it takes, is how to be present. Because, as I said, we don't have, our yesterdays are gone, and we have no guarantees for our tomorrow.
It's just right now.
It's just right now.
So, Laurina, to wrap up, what's one tangible thing that someone who's watching this can do to be more present in their day-to-day?
Well, one of them I just taught you. But the other one, too, is learning how to breathe. Breathing down into the body. And the way that I teach it is kind of cute. I think it's cute, So I have somebody breathe out, piercing the lips, just feeling that little bit of piercing and collapsing the balloon in your belly, right? Holding it for 3 seconds and then bringing it through your nose and filling up that balloon. And then exhaling all the way. Keep going. I have to tell them, keep going. Hold it for 3 seconds, bringing it in through the nose. Relaxing your shoulders. And do that 3 times. And then just becoming aware, feeling the shoes on your feet, becoming aware of the sounds without any mental opinion, feeling the pressure on your back where you're leaning. Are you present? Uh-huh. Did the mind quiet? Yeah. And that's how you do it. Breathing in. Because when you're breathing in, you're doing at least 3 to 4 things. One is that this thing is quieting. The other thing is you're relaxing the cardiovascular system. You're relaxing your nervous system. You're bringing life force back down into your body. You know, we would not be alive without a breath. So you were bringing life force down into the body, and we're detoxifying the lungs. And all those are absolutely necessary to de-stress, especially in that moment.
Breathe, people, breathe.
Yes. And people don't breathe. They breathe up here, shallow breathing. So they really don't feel the rest of their body and hear their body saying, hey, I'm down here. Come on. It's time to love me now. Come be with me. You know, our bodies are really remarkable instruments and really very much aware and always talking to us.
So, Laurina, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me at la@ishiftyourenergy.com. They can call 407-340-0301. Leave me a message or text me. My website is www.ishiftyourenergy.com. There you go.
There you go.